I don't know how many of you are going to believe this or not, but it is very true. There is talk of Hillary Clinton 2024. Let that sink in. They are talking about Hillary 2024 again. And what we are seeing is that so far, in the midst of what's going on with COVID and an understandable frustration with lack of more tangible accomplishments among many, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are being increasingly seen as uninspiring, unexciting, and vulnerable in 2024. And I've said before, this part I agree with completely. I've said in 2024, if Trump's the nominee or if DeSantis is the nominee, I don't feel super confident about Biden versus either of them. And if Biden says, I'm not running for re-election, but here's Kamala, and Kamala is basically awarded the Democratic nomination, I also don't feel very confident about that. Some who share my concerns are saying, let's look at bringing Hillary back. The idea being, in hindsight, so this is the case some are making. I'm not making this case. The case some are making is, listen, the American public now knows what a mistake it was to choose Trump over Hillary. So what better way to put a Democrat back in the White House than to say, now do the right thing with Hillary? I think this is potentially disastrous. There is a very interesting article in the Wall Street Journal, which, full disclosure, the Wall Street Journal is part of News Corporation, Fox News, etc. This is an op-ed by Doug Schoen and Andrew Stein, and it's called Hillary Clinton's 2024 election comeback. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have become unpopular. It may be time for a change candidate. Now, you can agree with part of this and not all of it. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have become unpopular. When you actually look at the average of approval ratings, Joe Biden's actually doing okay. There is no mathematical case that Joe Biden is really unpopular. As you can see, Biden's approval came down significantly in late July through September and into October. But since then, it's basically been steady within 1 point, and it is not unusually low. If you look, as 538 allows you to do, if you look at how Biden compares with past presidents, Biden is more popular by about 6 points at this point in time than Trump was during his presidency. And he's sort of close to others. I mean, I think the exception certainly with George W. Bush at this point in time. Bush he was buoyed in his approval by 9/11. Joe Biden is less popular right now than Obama, Clinton, George H.W. Bush, Reagan, Nixon. Ford is very, very close and less popular than Jimmy Carter. That's true. But compared to Trump, he's actually doing better. So for me, the approval rating right now is not really the signal about whether Joe Biden can or cannot win in 2024. But what this is a signal about is that there's no question that it's hard to look at the Biden-Harris administration and be excited. Now, to some degree, they were handed a very difficult situation when it comes to the pandemic. But this is less about popularity today, per se. It's more about the vision for what do things look like after the midterms. What is it exactly that this administration is going to stand for or accomplish? And to some degree, the reason people are talking about Hillary is that there aren't many inspiring figures in the Democratic Party that people are excited about for 2024. I know that let me go through some of the contingents. There's a contingent that says it's Bernie's time. I believe Bernie's time has come and gone. I don't think a third run from Bernie is going to be what inspires the Democratic Party to come together and to defeat whoever is the Republican in 2024. I just don't see it. And I know some of you disagree with me. I love Bernie. I just don't think Bernie at whatever age he will be, Bernie Sanders' age. Bernie is 80. So he would be what, 82, 83, 84 when he would become president. I just don't see it. And you can apply the same thing to Biden, and that's fine. I wouldn't disagree with you. I think that there's an issue with Biden's age as well. I don't think that that's what it is. There's another side that says there's no one more exciting than AOC. I think it would be really tough in 24 for AOC to run for president. Would she even be old enough? That's another question. When will AOC be old enough to run for president? She turns 35 a few weeks before election day. Okay, so she may be eligible. I have a really hard time imagining that AOC is going to win the presidency in 2024, despite a lot of people being very excited about her. So then you end up with people saying stuff, well, what about Warren Buttigieg? And it makes a lot of progressives cringe, even though when you look on paper, Warren's one of the few people proposing a wealth tax, something very popular with the progressives. Buttigieg is one of the few guys who can actually consistently out rhetoric whoever it is he's talking about, Fox News host, whatever. But it doesn't feel like it's going to really inspire the widest swath of the Democratic Party. So I get why people are again saying, I don't know, maybe Hillary again. She's younger than some of these other people, but it strikes me as potentially disastrous. Let me know your thoughts. You can find me on Twitter at dpacman. We'll take a break and be back right after this. It is a brand new year. Maybe you have goals around getting in better shape, maybe cutting back on sugar. That's why you should check out our longtime sponsor, Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon tastes exactly like the delicious sweet breakfast cereals you loved as a kid, but Magic Spoon has 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net carbs. So it's perfect if you're doing low carb or keto, or if, like me, you just try to limit your sugar intake. You can build your own variety pack with flavors like cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, cinnamon, cookies and cream, waffle, maple, blueberry. That's my favorite. Magic Spoon lets you enjoy a sweet, delicious snack without the guilt. You can stick to your goals and still treat yourself. And if you don't love Magic Spoon as much as I do, they'll give you all of your money back, no questions asked. Magic Spoon is giving my audience $5 off when you go to magicspoon.com/Pacman and use the promo code Pacman.